Good morning, everyone. This is Luda Kopikina with GAI Insights. Welcome to Daily AI News Review, where we rate the news essential, important, and optional. I have John, Ankaj, and Paul today, and we'll go through 7 articles today. The articles are on gaiinsights.com/articles. If you want to follow along and give us your comments, please, what you think about the developments. All right, let's start with the first article. Ankaj, please.
Sure, thanks, Luda. So the first one that we have for today comes from OpenAI, and OpenAI has introduced image generation in its 4O model.
Right. So this particular one is not a surprise. They've been talking about integrating all of their platforms. Now this is available from within 4O, and they actually worked quite a bit on it in terms of following the description, tracking multiple and being able to produce multiple images, be very specific to the description of the prompt of what the user wants in the picture. So they did quite a bit of training the model on the text rendering, the multi-turn and the like. So I had only a couple of minutes to try it. It's a little slow that they warn that this is the case, but it's actually pretty stunning. So I think news is important to essential. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I was the same place you are. Important to essential. I did have a little bit of chance to play with it, and it worked pretty well most of the time. There are some funky things if you try to upload an image and so forth. I wasn't able to get that to work correctly, but I had it generate some just base images from the descriptions, and they're breathtaking. So I was going to give this. I don't know. I do think imagery is really important. There are a lot of image tools out there. It's from the market leader. So I was going to give it an essential. It's an easy read. The videos are fun, but just barely. I could be convinced of important, but definitely not optional.
Yeah. Paul, where did you come out on this?
I actually had it as essential only because I think the market leader too, and reinforces multimodal and the ability to edit and move things around. Like I was playing with it and I said, change the orientation of the sun, and it changed right away. So this kind of, we're next level of kind of modifying, and is really impressive. And I think for AI leaders who need to show executives how fast this is changing, this is a visual that moves viscerally. So I had it essential.
Yeah, and the integration with what you're doing is actually pretty good, right? So if you're working on a project that requires like web development, right, and requires imagery, you can change, adapt all on the go. Before you had to go to DALL-E or another platform to generate images. Now it's all together.
Good morning, everybody. John Spielke here from GAI.
But actually, Luda, I mean, even before this came out, you could still generate images within 4.0. This is just the next level up here. But I do think one of the things with AI leaders, I mean, I do think we need to continue to realize we have tools at our fingertips that convey messages. So actually handing a report in without a visual, I think, should be the thing of the past. We should always ask the robots what's a good visual to show a message for internal presentations.
Okay. All right. Let's mark it essential then and proceed. Ankaj.
Okay, the next one comes from Google, and they have launched Gemini 2.5, which is their thinking model.
Yeah. John, what did you think about this one? Quite impressive scores, huh?
Yeah, fantastic, impressive scores on everything from the reasoning models to the math and reasoning evaluation to math evaluation. Definitely essential. This is the market leaders coming back. With some not market leader in terms of the market leader in search, which I think is as we go from the search economy to the answer economy. This is critical, and they obviously have unbelievable capability and flow, and it was their team that came up with the transformer model. So I would say that this is essential reading. Google, is it's There's some issues in terms of backward integration with existing models and so forth, but they're doing a heck of a job here. It's in the Vertex environment, and big addition to one of the key ecosystems. So I was going to say essential.
Paul, essential. What do you think?
I was more important. Either one. It's definitely Google's definitely showing and not saying this year and getting better. I'm not sure what a AI newsletter would actually lead her to do this other than being current. So
yeah, I was also important to just highlight that this is happening, but it is a little bit of a step up. But they pushed on performance, but I don't know whether it warrants an essential per se. So, John, okay with important? Okay, important it is. Let's proceed, Ankash.
Okay, the next one comes from Figure AI, and they have now natural humanoid walk using reinforcement learning.
Right. So it's amazing that they have trained robots to walk very much like humans, not quite yet. So this is the prior way they walked, and now behind him, as you can see, much more evolved model. Technically, they pushed the boundaries of reinforcement learning and simulation training. But what is amazing, they were able to take it from simulation to real with one shot by introducing several innovations. And that is quite amazing that it would enable the technology to train many robots very quickly. However, I think as a development for AI leaders, I thought it was optional. John, what did you think?
I was definitely going to give it an important, maybe an essential. The reason is this whole notion of being able to take simulated data, one-shot learning, move the expertise and capability across all these robots, in a short amount of time. It's the new version kind of walks like Joe Biden used to, and still, got some to go. But I was the other thing is just the visual. I mean, it just there's this, a field of AI robots, walking in synchrony, or not in synchrony, but learning together. And I just think if you want to make the case that this stuff is real here and now, and reinforcement learning is so efficient when they get it right, and simulated data. So I don't know. I was definitely at least important.
Paul, what's your thoughts?
I feel like I'm on the essential. I was on essential for three reasons. One, I think that this robots teaching robots in mass is a really important concept here. And I remember Jeffrey Hinton presentation a year and a half ago talking about how once these robots around the world start learning, they're going to start teaching other robots, and it's just going to accentuate very fast here. I also think it's really emotional. I mean, many have seen the movie I, Robot, which was armies of robots that were scary. With the one, I forget, the one that was friendly was not red or something. But this is now real. And I think in terms of what we talked earlier, John, the visualization, this stuff is moving fast. It's changing into physical robots, the software robots. It's transformational in every single thing here. And this is, I think one nice thing about this is something you can share and people will watch. So, look at these robots. I think in terms of kind of awareness generation and excitement building, I had that as an essential.
I could support that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was.
Rita, you got the chalk though. Let's be clear. You got the chalk today.
No. Well, you have good points. It's just for the presentations, I agree, and for awareness building, I agree. But for the real impact, this point about transfer is, I think, an important transfer across the board. Okay, let's go essential. Let's proceed, Ankash.
Okay, the next one that we have comes from DeepSeek, and DeepSeek has introduced V3.0324 version, and it is already competing with all the top models on a variety of benchmarks.
Yeah, remember that R1 came on the heels of the first V3. So I just wonder whether we will have another R1 moment or R2 coming in. What did you think about this, John?
Yeah, everyday miracles, more progression, great little model, optional. I think it's just another entry in a very fast-moving field. Again, if this field moved a little slower, it would be essential. But we're going to have another miracle tomorrow. So I don't think there's anything new here other than incremental improvement on a very efficient and useful model.
Right, and it seems like they focused a lot on the Chinese comprehension, Chinese language comprehension, working with prompts and the like. That is very Chinese based as new features introduced. Paul, what did you think?
I agree. Everyday miracle, optional. I think leaders should expect incremental progress, and this is what's happening.
Okay, optional it is. Let's proceed, Ankash.
Okay, the next one comes from Alibaba and Quinn. So they have launched Quinn 2.5 VL 32 billion parameter version, which is smarter and lighter.
Yeah. John, another everyday miracle? What did you
Yes,
think?
yeah, I was going to put this in a similar category. It is important to note the amount of investment and effort the Chinese are making, especially in the small and medium-sized models. I think that is. I think a lot of people need to realize how distributed this capability is going to be. It's going to be in stuff. It's going to be in your phone. It's going to be in your car. It's going to be, and I think it's going to be networked and hybridized. So that if you're just like in Apple's intelligence architecture, you can be on the phone. If the phone can't answer it, it goes up to the OpenAI model. But intelligence is going to be distributed very much like it is in our biology. And so a powerful trend. Optional article.
Paul, I was also on the optional, but
Yeah.
it's an incredible model. Yeah.
Yeah, optional. I'm just a footnote. OpenAI, Apple just moved out their AI lead. They just canned him because they can't get the Siri out. But yes, optional.
Yeah. Okay. Optional it is then. Ankash, we are speeding
Yes.
through these things. Let's go next.
Yeah. So the next one is a case study from ABB on how they have simplified industrial device maintenance with GenAI.
Yeah, I put it as important for the following reason. The article doesn't give you much in terms of the performance of the application, but focuses on the critical area for industrial applications in maintenance, for hardware maintenance. This is a hardcore area for those companies, and usually the people who want to or have expertise to be in it, it's very difficult to find, and many of them are retiring. So the maintenance side of maintaining the fleet is critical and very difficult to put together. So the fact that ABB put this application together with, they say, quite a bit of success, I think is a good example of doing this, and I hope many companies follow suit. So that's why I thought it's important. John,
Yeah.
Paul, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with important. Your GE chops are showing here. Obviously you understand the value of this from your experience at GE. My only I was leaning toward optional. I could support important because it's just this was a hugely disappointing article for me because it started out great and then it's got no info, very little info in it.
Yep.
It reminded me of when I was running marketing at PwC. There were so many times we had to chop out a lot of the interesting stuff because of client issues or brand issues and so forth. And I wonder if that's what happened here, that there was this got to risk and quality, and they took the heart out of this thing.
Yeah.
But ABB is obviously massive brand, huge global player. This notion of the ability to distribute intelligence. Economists talk a lot about the fact that knowledge is impacted. That is, it's situational with the people and the setting and so forth. And this stuff is making the liquidity of knowledge way more available. And for all the reasons you said and more, Luda, it's a hugely important trend. But
Right. And
I'll support important.
Yeah, they're integrating technologies like QR codes, the specific maintenance issues that are separated into a class of issues, and so they're really working it so that the robots can help the humans who are out there in the field or in the office trying to figure this out quickly. Sometimes it's critical issues. So, Paul, what did you think?
Important as well for all the reasons we talked about. I mean, obviously, very disappointing. It's not an
Okay.
AWS quality thing, but it's a big company doing it, and it's not a native AI company, so that's notable.
Okay. Important it is. Let's proceed, Ankaj.
Okay, the last one that we have for today comes from NVIDIA, and they have introduced NVIDIA Dynamo, which is a next-gen AI inference server for enterprises.
Yeah, they introduced quite a bit of innovation in this introduction, even though it's just the beginning, right? It's a product announcement. What did you think about this, John?
Yes, optional is the rating I was going to give it. Dynamo as a server that helps direct, the flow of inference and across different models for optimization and performance, low latency, and so forth. But I think that it's just a component of the architecture. You can see in here you've got you have the GPU planner, you've got the smart router, you've got a communications library, you have distributed memory, disaggregated serving. These to me are all critical components of the semantic operating system. And, they're stuffed into hardware for better performance, but optional.
Yeah, I'm thinking, should we move it to important because it's so critical. Most of the companies I know of use NVIDIA servers, right? So and the fact that it's moving with this type of speed and with this type of optimization is worth noting. Paul, what did you think?
Yeah, I had it as optional, but I do think the category of will there be specialized servers for inference rather than training is an important one. John and I had a briefing with Samba Nova Systems, and they're betting their whole architecture that the chips for uh, cost-effective, lower total cost of ownership or inference are going to be fundamentally different than the chips designed for training, which is where NVIDIA is coming out. But this particular article I had is optional.
Okay. All right, you're both optional. I want to move it to important. Important it is. I'll use my chalk. Okay.
I love it.
That's
Feel
great.
the power.
Okay, so let's Ankash, do you have the scorecard? But this is an interesting Wednesday. We have, I think, 2 essentials, 3 importance, and 2 optionals. Is that correct, Ankash?
Yes, Luda.
Okay, great. That's the score for today. Thank you. The folks who are following, Ram was there, and a couple of other people. So thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much. An announcement, Paul.
Yes, we're excited that Yasser is joining our team. He's going to be producer for the show, and one of the things he's going to work on is starting to get us. We'll bring him up on stage here. He's going to start helping us get on podcasts. That's been a frequently requested item, and we're starting with Spotify and Apple. And we're going to learn the next few weeks here, but look forward to get more distribution and meet the customers' needs. So welcome, Yasser.
Welcome, Yasser. Thank you, Paul. All right, we'll see you. Thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.